class is very different than I thought because this class makes me excited every time before the class started.
I like to know about the world traditions and the perspective of the world, perspective of people who's living in the world. And also we learned about characteristics of people.
So we decided to study Nisai because it teaches with 100% English. So that will be really good for an American university or an England university.
I'm glad I found Nisai. It is very reasonable and the time is very, very fitting for me. Nisai has an excellent academic curriculum because it is hard to find a homeschool with Cambridge curriculum in Indonesia. I have tried to join an Indonesian national curriculum. Although my grades are good, I struggle to speak Indonesian language as I have learned English as my first language.
I joined Nisai to develop my skill in English, which can be used as an asset to support my goal of studying abroad.
She's very kind and I feel comfortable to talk to her. I don't need to be scared about my grammar.
I feel they are explaining more than my old schools, and then I can learn more things here.
Teachers are really kind. They their voice is really it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like they're paying attention to me. So I've learned to analyze the questions, the text more. When I study math, I use the knowledge that we've already covered before to use that to calculate more stuff. And I really enjoy studying at Nisai.
It's actually quite fun because I can know about my international friends' culture and how their country's like, and just talk about where we're from, and so yeah, just to chat.
I can know about their traditions and what they do for their religious things. And then we once had a topic about traditions. I got to know more about their traditions once they explained. So it is kind of nice to have international students also in the school.
It gives me the courage to present. I know that even if my presentation is bad, my classmates won't tease me about it or anything. So it kind of makes me feel safe. It makes me be able to present it fully. So I would definitely recommend joining the club.
Nisai also offers a lot of extracurricular activities, and I chose coding club and debate club. I like the coding club because I'm a fan of video games and I get to make some. I like the debate club because I enjoy public speaking and giving opinions.
I don't know much about the other clubs, but I joined the debate club, and I joined it because I wanted to improve my public speaking, critical thinking, and making arguments, and a bit more about my nervousness. Although I'm still struggling a bit with my nervousness, I at least improved before I joined the club. And the club have guided me to make good structured arguments and taught me the roles of the first and third speaker. Overall, I think Nisai has been very helpful to me so far, and I learned a lot.
You will not regret it when you join the class, and you will not regret it, and you will be very grateful for being one of the part of the class.
I really, really do enjoy my time in the school, and I hope you do too. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly. I kindly request everyone to settle in as we prepare to watch a short video about Nisai Global School. For better discussion, I would like to ask parents and students to update your Zoom display names to your real names. This will help us connect with you more effectively. Thank you for your cooperation.
Nisai Global School is the first fully interactive online British secondary school that delivers quality-assured home education for pupils aged 8 to 18 globally. Nisai Global School offers a complete pathway of education online. We provide everything that you would expect to find in a traditional school, from subject lessons, homework and assignments, to houses, clubs, and even end-of-term reports. Being recognized as an international school, the curriculum of Nisai Global School is adapted from the Nisai Virtual Academy, with subjects from Cambridge International Curriculum and Pearson International Curriculum, leading to Cambridge IGCSE, Pearson Edexcel International GCSE, and A-level qualifications.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nisai Open Day Go International from Home with IGCSE and A-level. I'm Rosa, your host for today's events. Dear parents and students, in today's rapidly evolving world, technological advancement, including artificial intelligence, have automated certain tasks, urging younger generation to expand their knowledge to contribute to sustainable development. And therefore, education and technology have become extremely crucial, especially through high-quality learning programs that play a pivotal role in comprehensive child development. And as we approach July, it's an ideal time for parents to explore sustainable and suitable learning programs for your children. With the mission of delivering high-quality UK standard curriculum to students around the world, we are excited to launch the Nisai Open Day in order to provide detailed information about our international program to academic success, as well as offer parents and students a brief walkthrough of Nisai Global School, where all of our learners study in an inclusive and equitable environment. Ladies and gentlemen, at our Nisai Open Day, we are honored to welcome our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. Rob Jamison, Head of International Partnership at Pearson School Qualification. Mr. David Lester, Group Learning Services Director at Nisai Group. Ms. Nadia Hishamuddin, Onboarding and Training Coordinator at Nisai Group. And Ms. Emily Pham, Customer and Student Support Team Manager at Nisai Global School. Our event is divided into 3 parts. Part 1, Introduction to Nisai Global School program in the upcoming academic year. Part 2, Nisai Virtual Academic Walkthrough. Part 3, Q&A section with the guest speakers. And without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Rob Jamison, Head of International Partnership at Pearson School Qualification, to kick off our event with valuable insights into the Pearson program and how students can benefit from global partnership with Nisai Global School to shape their future. Please welcome Mr. Rob.
Thank you so much, Rosa, and it's a delight to be here and to join you today. I'm in France, where it's early on a Saturday morning, and I hope the weather is as good for you as it is for me. I'm not in Paris because, as you could see, the weather from Paris wasn't so great if you were watching the Olympic ceremony last night. I'm down in the south of France in Marseille. So really nice to see you all. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our partnership with Nisai to provide students with exciting forward-looking qualifications that give people access to global universities and a great learning experience in themselves. Let me tell you, first of all, then, a little bit more about Pearson. We, as you may or may not know, are actually the world's leading education company. We have over 21,000 people working only in our education businesses. That's the only thing that we do, but we cover all education at all levels, from kindergarten right through to workplace learning, with over 160 million users of our education products around the world. In the UK, we're the largest awarding body for regulated qualifications. That's both vocational, academic, and also professional qualifications. And they're recognized by the world's top universities. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. The part of the business that I work for is called Pearson EdXL. And EdXL is the UK qualifications business within Pearson. We deliver both UK and international exams for students around the world, which qualify them for progression onto university, other college tracks, vocational streams, and the world of work. And we aim to prepare students broadly, as you'll see, not just narrowly to a single narrow academic curriculum. We go a lot broader than that. We like to think of ourselves not just as examining, but as really educating along the way. So we're excited for our partnership with Nisai, which we aim to represent as a rich educational experience. So not just focusing on the exam, but focusing on really broadening a student's mind, making them global citizens. We want to reward a broader range of skills than traditional exams do. Traditional exams sometimes are very narrow. We want to broaden the criteria for success to include a wider range of students who might get on very, very well in life, but haven't always been rewarded by the things that are being evaluated in traditional exams. So to that extent, we want to broaden the equity and opportunity and access to progression through exams that help students be their best version of themselves. And in doing so, we want to provide a pathway for them both to improve their English skills by learning in English as they're learning the content, but also to give them a step up to access the world's best universities. So let's go right back to the beginning. When we as an exam board thought about how we would create our latest suite of exams, we went right back to the start of the process and asked, why do people take exams? And we came up with a few problems. The problem with traditional exams is that they're rewarding a narrow range of very academic skills. And those academic skills are very important, but they're not the only skills that help you succeed in life. And the problem that we found with academic exams in their traditional, purely academic nature was that they ignore a whole wider range of skills which can be pathways to success in adult life, but are not being rewarded. And therefore, students with those skills beyond the purely narrow academic curriculum that's being tested frequently were being denied or are being denied progression opportunities where they deserve a better chance. So we thought about the students who sometimes are disadvantaged by having all of their future defined on a single exam day within an exam room, and thinking about how we can open up opportunities to increase fairness. We also thought that traditional exams look backwards at a summary of achievement for a narrow learning program, whereas what education really needs to do is to look forwards to students' futures and to prepare them for those futures. And it's important for an exam system not to lose touch with the idea that they're preparing students for life and not simply summarizing achievement. Because one of the problems that occurs when you look at validating achievement over a narrow syllabus is that you ask yourself sometimes if the results are not at least as much for the benefit of the school and the teachers as for the students. And I think we need to redress that balance. So as we rethought the exam experience, we started by actually right from the start, from primary, thinking of learning as being a continuum. And we designed a curriculum that goes all the way from the start of learning in schools right up to the end of secondary education, because the best habits, the best grounding for success at A levels at the end of your schooling is to start right at the beginning by putting in place the good learning habits and the skills framework. Today, I'm going to talk more specifically about the secondary school qualifying exams, international GCSEs, which are typically taken around 18, and moving into the university qualifying international A levels, which are taken normally between 16 and 18 or 19. Here are the ideas that we wanted to make sure we represented in our new suite of exams. Here's ways in which we address that principle of trying to think forwards, not backwards. Let's look at the international GCSE suite that we currently offer in 37 subjects. Most students take between 6 and 10 subjects to have a broad range of skills between arts, sciences, humanities, languages, social sciences. So when we came to create the new suite of exams, the first thing we did was to set up a really widespread, wide-ranging, sophisticated research project called World-Class Qualifications. And we appointed a board of highly professional, highly qualified experts from around the world, from primary and secondary education systems, from universities, and from the world of work and industry, and asked them all to collate research within their own areas of expertise and to bring it all back together to allow us to see what general principles, what best practice we could draw on, and what were the gaps, what were people seeing as needs in the world of work and in university education that school frequently wasn't providing a good enough grounding in. And it was a fascinating project and brought in thousands and thousands of people and opinions. Here's an example of someone that we spoke to. You can imagine that the chief economist at LinkedIn sees a really wide range of applicants for jobs and for job postings. And it's important that he said that it's not a lot of what people study a lot of the time, the deep content knowledge that is most valuable to employers. It's skills, teamwork, communication. It's the ability to work with other people productively, to get the best out of them and out of yourself. And so that was an important lesson for us in terms of getting that balance right. This survey has just been published by the OECD, and it summarizes the scores in creative thinking skills across over 60 countries. It doesn't include Vietnam because Vietnam isn't an OECD member, but I've put a traffic light system against the countries in Southeast Asia that were covered in this survey. And you can see that Singapore and Korea are absolutely outstanding. They are the best in the world for educating in creative thinking. But then you see that there is a lot more, and in generally, in fact, not just in Southeast Asia, but there are a lot more countries that are below the average for creative thinking skills by the evaluation of the OECD. And so once again, this focus on building skills rather than just cramming content knowledge comes across as a significant need. So when we created our new curriculum, sure, we put in a lot of detailed history subjects, maths concepts, science experiments, wide range of English literature, all the content that you would expect to find in school exams. But we also made sure that we didn't neglect, alongside that important content that we're evaluating through assessments, a thread of building skills knowledge. And building that skills mindset in students is about explicitly talking about what kind of skills you need to deploy in order to successfully carry out a task. And we built this on a framework from the American National Research Council, which focused on three key skills areas. First of all, cognitive skills. Those are learning skills, critical thinking, logic, decision-making, creativity comes in here. And you can see how those skills will vary between subjects. Some will focus much more in detail on processing, on logic, on rationale. Others will demand more creativity, lateral thinking. Then secondly, we had an intrapersonal thread. Intrapersonal skills are really important in terms of managing yourself, your emotional intelligence, your ability to understand how you react to things, having a growth mindset, making sure that you don't get defeated by a task. You think of it as a learning opportunity rather than a failure, and so on and so on. All of the things that make you a strong, resilient learner. And then thirdly, to come back to the point that the man from LinkedIn made so strongly, working together with people. Often in schools, students are encouraged to work in competition with each other. Let's work harder on aspects of teamwork, collaboration, turn-taking, leadership, empathy, learning how to listen, learning how to get the most from the people that you're working with. And you can see how important this is in the world of work. And unfortunately, businesses find that they have to spend a huge amount of time training this into people from the bottom up, whereas there is so much more that you could do so much more effectively if you started that process right back in primary school. So all of these threads are knitted into the texture of that exam suite and the curriculum that started right back in primary years and carries on through this international GCSE suite and on up to the A-level suite. Second principle, think different. What does that mean? Well, let's have a look here. Here are two exam rooms 90 years apart. Spot the difference. Well, apart from the quality of the photography, there's virtually no difference. In fact, the Damascus University picture might actually be a nicer exam room than the UK secondary school. What happened in 2020? The pandemic. It broke everything. You could no longer take exams this way. It gave a jolt to the system that was thoroughly overdue, and we had to find new ways to conduct exams. So one of the first things that we did was that we brought a whole range of our exams on screen. Now, that's not an obligation. Students can still take pen and paper exams, and indeed should do in a number of subjects. In maths or in sciences, you want to be able to demonstrate graphic skills, drawing skills, drafting, and so on. But in more text-based exams in particular, there's a great deal of benefit in doing these on screen. You think differently when you're conducting a task on a keyboard rather than handwriting. When you handwrite, you have to complete a thought and then commit it to paper. When we're writing an email, we throw something down and then we edit ourselves in real time. Now, nobody will ever write as much again with a pen and paper as they do in a secondary school exam. So maybe we should make exams a little bit closer to real life and use those editing skills, which for an essay would be really valuable, to say you can change the order of paragraphs. If your conclusion no longer matches the introduction to your essay, you can adapt the introduction, and so on and so on. So you can see how it makes the exam experience closer to real life and helps the students perform to their best. And it's been really well received. Thousands of students now are already conducting their exams on screen. As I say, it's an option, not an obligation. The third principle, this one about making sure that we're rewarding learners based on their abilities, not simply their ability to perform in a narrow context in an exam room. So one of the ways in which we've done that is to spread the load. All our international A-levels are modular. That means they're built up normally of either 4 or of 6 units, which the student presents over 2 years. And so frequently the student will present 3 papers 1 year and 3 papers in the second year. But you don't even need to conduct all of those papers in one session. We have 3 exam sessions a year in January, in May, and in October, which allow students to and classes and the teachers to present the student for the exam when they're most ready for it. That spreads the load. It means a student can retake an individual paper rather than needing to retake the whole exam. And then when you have your best performance, the paper on which you've got the best marks, you only then do you submit all your range of best papers for grading. So we want to spread the load, make it a kinder experience, not so high stakes on a single month of your life, in order to aid your ability to do your best and to ensure progression. We've now extended that down to modular international GCSEs, which means that in most international GCSEs are 2 papers. One, you can either do them both together at the end of the 2-year program, or once again, you can split them up. And we have 2 sessions a year for international GCSE. So it's very fluid, and in an online school that can be really useful, where you have individual student pathways, and you can have within the same class students taking exams at different times or retaking a paper. It's very flexible, and that flexibility, I think, aids the student working to their best. Let's talk a little bit more about those international A-levels that we present in modular fashion. These are world-recognized university qualifying exams. International A-levels are among the best-known end-of-school exam systems in the world, and they're taken by students in over 100 countries. And as you can see, access to them is as strong as it would be for any exam system. They are recognized in all of the best universities in every part of the world. And if you want to look for more information about where an exam is, where A-levels are accepted and what the conditions are, then we have a guide on our website that we can share with you, where you can look up conditions for individual universities, and there are literally thousands of them. They also, of course, you can go on to other programs within Pearson. After your international GCSEs, if you don't want to go the academic pathway and A-levels, we also have a section of Pearson called BTEC, which prepares international vocational qualifications, which are great preparations for so many areas of 21st century work, and they help ground students for fantastic careers. And then the PTE academic English language test is a really useful complement to international A-levels, or sometimes for students who haven't done an A-level course but have done a local qualifying exam curriculum. But PTE academic represents their ability to be able to speak English to a level that allows universities to have the confidence to issue a visa, and they're recognized visa applications. So these pathways complement the Pearson Edexcel exam suite. Now, here's the really exciting stuff. More things are just on the horizon, just beginning to come now. I think online learning is just at the start of a really exciting journey. There are so many reasons, and I've just described some of them here, why online learning is so suitable for students and families in so many different contexts. It really meets a really wide range of needs, and online schools are becoming more and more sophisticated in being able to accompany individual student pathways to help the students achieve the greatest success possible. We're helping that process with a new pilot program which allows students not just to learn from home in an online school, but actually to take their exams online as well. And we're hoping to move with Nisai to offer this option to take exams from home at the end of the course via our remote invigilation program. So I hope you'll hear more of that in the time to come. And of course, it's not just online schools. Physical schools now don't just exist within their own walls. Here are some examples of cases where physical schools find a partnership with online learning to teach in a fluid, flexible, hybrid way. And there are so many great experiences to be had in a school accessing international qualifications through a partnership with online. So, Pearson Edexcel qualifications, as to summarize, they're academically rigorous, they're internationally oriented, they're focused on student outcomes, and they're designed for the 21st century. Thanks very much to Nisai for allowing me to speak to you today, and very best wishes to you and to your children for success with an international British curriculum.
Thank you, Rob, for your thorough explanation of international qualifications, and I believe this will greatly expand student understanding of successful academic pathways and also provide them with a range of diverse educational opportunities. Thank you. Yeah, following Mr. Rob's speech, now let's give a warm welcome to Mr. David Lester, Group Learning Services Director at Nisai Group, who will give a thorough sharing about Nisai pathway to academic success with a variety of subjects offered through high-quality programs. Please welcome Mr. David Lester.
Thanks, Rosa. And also thanks, Rob. I think just hearing that information and background there just reinforces the reason why we've got this partnership together, and something that we're really looking forward to progressing with. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. What I'd like to do today is talk about Nisai in a bit more detail, the pathways which we've got, but also very much to explain why we do what we do and how we do it. I think, as Rob mentioned earlier, education in general is more than just academic ability. It's about developing the whole child. It's about skills. It's about competencies. And this is what we're going to be looking at today. So to start with, I'd just like to show this graphic and just explain how equality, equity, and liberation fits into inclusive education. Equality is a word that has been talked about for a number of years within education, and as you'll see from that graphic, equality is very much about giving everybody the same resource to be able to succeed. But what we know, what we found, is that we work and teach individuals who have personal needs, and what one needs and if one doesn't. So we need to make sure that those resources are made available at the level that is specific to the child, and that's where equity comes in. And as you'll see from the graphics, someone who's smaller might need a bigger platform to stand on to reach the apple, as where someone who's taller would have a smaller platform. And this transfers into education based on the way children are taught and young people are taught. It will also include the resources that are maybe available, whether that be assistive technology, whether it be online resource, but ultimately what we're looking to work towards is liberation, ensuring that every child who has equal value has the same access and the same opportunity to succeed, and really leveling the playing field for all the students who are with us. So as a snapshot, we have been teaching and supporting learners for 28 years. We of students over many, many nations and many countries, including those in Southeast Asia, but with over 20,000 students benefiting from a Nisai education. We are seeing learners follow those pathways that Rob was talking about, but the figure that's really missing from there is that we have experience of delivering nearly 2.5 million live teaching hours. So what's Nisai about? Well, Nisai is here to create education facilities that are inclusive and effective learning environments. We are running an online school. We are building a learning community and a global learning community where students from many, many countries will work together in inclusive classrooms. Now, one of the things which I want to put forward and make you aware of is something that has run with Nisai for many, many years. So in the UK, there was a strategy that was put in place back in 2003 called Every Child Matters, and this was very much about improving the well-being of children and young people. This and the principles of Every Child Matters is as relevant today as it was back in 2003, possibly even more so. So if we look at the 5 pillars that are detailed there, yes, we want to improve academic knowledge, but children should be able to enjoy and achieve, and in the vast majority of cases we will find that students will achieve and create and get better outcomes because they're enjoying what they're doing and they're enjoying being part of that global community. Also focuses very much on being healthy and staying safe, and staying safe as well in the physical world is also as important in the online, and we provide resources and support to ensure that your child, your student will remain safe during their time with Nisai. We talk and look at making a positive contribution, and one of the things that Rob was talking about was this thing about 21st century skills and being able to not just know things but have the competencies to be able to move on and contribute and be 21st century citizens almost. And these elements are all embedded into the delivery model of Nisai and our curriculum and timetable. But also, and finally, achieving that economic well-being. So irrespective of barrier, irrespective of geography, or background of students, we are there to provide all these elements of support to ensure that we are developing not just knowledge and academic achievement, but also skills and competencies. And again, this is something which mirrors and maps across to the curriculum of Pearson. The key element to what we do as well is the fact that the learner is at the center of everything we do. You'll see those 5 key categories again around the learner, but beyond that, parents who we work with, schools who we work with, they form a network and a support network for the learner, as well as government teams, and also partners if we put that in there. Nisai actually wraps itself around that. So we are looking to ensure that students leave Nisai with knowledge, skills, but also confidence, self-esteem, a feeling of self-worth, so that they can go on and do amazing things, not just because they know how to do it, but because they have the skills to do it. So we look at our school population. I won't go through all the detail in by every point, but you'll see from there that a Nisai student is not just an A or a B. They come from many, many different backgrounds, from many, many different areas. We do have students who will be accessing school and doing national curriculum, but then benefit from international curriculum that's brought in and learnt alongside. We have many students who will be learning from home. And one of the things which will be covered later is that the confirmation that learning from home doesn't have to be isolating. So this reinforces the community element of an Nisai education. But you'll see from there that all the students will be in all our classes. That's improves the inclusive agenda. It ensures that students are taught based on ability rather than background. And as we heard from some of the student testimonials earlier on before the session started, our students like being part of that global community. They like mixing with students and their peers from different countries. So NISAI education is one that is inclusive, supportive, and irrespective of background is there to create impact and deliver outcomes for our students. So if we look at the pathway, and Rob has talked already about international GCSEs and how they can then lead on to international A levels and then subsequently university and higher education or possibly the workplace. So I just wanted to look at the way NISAI fits into that. So our pathway will take students from primary school right through to higher education and providing the qualifications and the skills to be able to follow that. We start off with a focus on English and the ability to build skills in English language. That's learning English as a language, not as a subject. So we will focus very much on teaching skills and English proficiency around topics that children will know. We'll teach them and build skills where they can talk about their family, their towns, their schools, their interests, their emotions. And by doing this and doing it that way, it then starts building confidence in the English language. It provides an opportunity for them to talk and write about subjects which they're familiar with. And this isn't just about live learning. This is also about making use of technologies, whether it be online resource, which will support in tasks for reading and spelling, pronunciation, but also assistive technology. So where and what we know is that many students will be strong verbally when it comes to English, but they may struggle with writing. So we have support tools in place there to help learners not just build knowledge in English, but also then apply it. We have multiple levels of ability attending our English proficiency programs and boosters. So there will be something from beginner level right through to sort of intermediate. Our lessons are taught in English. So where there is a wish and a willingness to start with NISAI and our NS1, 2 and 3 programs at lower secondary, or whether there's the aspiration to go straight into international GCSEs and IGCSEs, there will need to be a level of English proficiency there. So what we're able to do is we are able to support that aspiration by providing boosters and support to build skills in English in the early stages. Our core subjects at grade 6 through to grade 8 are very much about building those foundation skills in core subjects such as maths, English, science and ICT, and you see them there on the graphic. Throughout a student's time with NISAI, we'll be tracking the progress and ensuring that they're making the progress which they're looking to be in the best place possible to start international GCSEs and IGCSEs, and there are a raft of subjects in there that your child or your students can take through NISAI. One of the really exciting parts of the partnership with Pearson is the introduction of separate sciences, and that has been a request from many of our parents that they wanted separate sciences for their child to be able to then specialize in moving forward onto A levels and progressing into higher education. But You'll see from the bottom right-hand corners of the slide that our offer now with the Virtual Academy, with the use of NHELP, which is the English Language Proficiency, Units of Sound and WordQ, which are our online resources and assistive tech, can support students right through from ages 8 to 18 and beyond. And the way we do things is based on experience and knowledge. And whilst we are seeing, and we know as a result of the pandemic, that the online education sector is growing at a rate, and that parents have a choice, and that there's more organisations in there, our experience over 28 years is something which I really do feel puts us in an incredibly strong position to support your child or your students. To finish off, and I think this is a really important part of online education and online schooling. Most people will identify that, yep, it's about teaching, and they will always recognize the top part of this pyramid. They will see the live lessons and they'll understand that it's centered around British and international curriculum. But actually, there's much, much more that goes on behind this, and this is to ensure that our students do come out with 21st century skills, those of collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. But it also means that they come out with a belief and a confidence that they can achieve. We need to support the well-being of our students as well as their academic achievement. So behind our live lessons, there is many, many areas in which we support those of parent and school support. So this will come in the form of online portals where stakeholders and parents can access that and get live information about attendance, communication and engagement levels of our students. You can also get details about the reporting that's in there as well. If we look at the student welfare, we have extracurricular activities. We have support, not just from the teacher, but also from tutors and the student welfare team. So again, putting the student and the learner at the center of what we do means that we have to look at more than just their academic achievement. The key element here is safeguarding, and we have taken the expectations and the guidance of UK safeguarding and implemented it across our platform, irrespective of where our students are accessing from. So we ensure that the online environment is secure, it's safe, that students can only get into the classrooms that they are timetabled to get into. When it comes to academic and examination and progression, everything is monitored, tracked, it is followed up, and we look at not just one-to-one support when it's required, but also mock examinations, looking beyond the examination stage that Rob was obviously talking about earlier on. We'll look at careers advice and guidance, support for university admissions. So there are many, many aspects and processes that are in place to be able to get and provide the most support for our students. But I want to finish off with why we're able to do that. And over the 28 years that we've been teaching students online, we have developed a team and have gained a team that have stayed with Nisai for many, many years. Our teaching team, I think 35% of our teaching team have been with Nisai for over 5 years. We have our sort of head of teaching who has taught online and supported our teachers who have joined us for nearly 10 years. And what that consistency delivers is outcomes, student success. It can't be done without the commitment of the student. But I think what we have found is that with a stable and secure teaching team, we can deliver significant outcomes for our students The longevity of staff within Nisai, whether it be across our customer and student support teams or our learning services or development teams, ensures that we are building on experience, knowledge, success, and that can only be of benefit to the students who come to us. So if there are questions, I know we've got an opportunity at the end to be able to answer those, and at that point I will hand back to Rosa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David, for explaining Nisai pathway and core value. I think this will help parents and students better understanding Nisai commitment to high quality and accessible education for all. Thank you. Moving to the next part about Nisai Virtual Academy, Ms. Nadia Hishamuddin, onboarding and training coordinator at Nisai, will provide an overview of our virtual learning environment and demonstrating how Nisai students will engage and learn on the platform. Please welcome Ms. Nadia.
Hello there, everyone. Thank you for coming into the open day, and I really appreciate it. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about our Nisai Virtual Academy. Now, some of you may be familiar with this, but either way, I'm more than happy to show it to you again. So how do I use, hi there, how do I use the Nisai Virtual Academy? Now, in the Nisai Virtual Academy, let me see. So we build our own learning platform to provide a safe study environment for all students and teachers. And the Nisai Virtual Academy is also called as the NVA. Each student will have their own account with a username and their secure password. And in this website, students can find all the learning materials that they need. They will also see the student email, the society, and also the well-being site right here. When they enter the Nisai Virtual Academy, they will also see the courses that they are enrolled in, where the students will have access to the live lessons and watch the recordings right here. The timetable will also be shown, and this is where students can check the schedule, but also from there, they could access their live lessons and the recordings. So what you can see from down here, let me just show you right there. This is the live lessons, which is in green. And then you can see all the recordings that have already happened in blue. In the Nisai Virtual Academy, you will also see my assignments. You can see here, there will be a notification shown at the side that shows you how many open assignments that you have, and students can download and upload their assignments right here. They will also be able to see the marked feedback and also what marks they have received from the teacher in the closed assignments. Don't worry, for parents and also for customers, you will also be able to see this from your own portal. My email. So students will have a safe and secure email that will only be used within the school to contact their teachers, form tutors, and classmates. This is also another way that students can keep up to date with the school news. In the Wellbeing Center, besides caring for our students' learning progress, we also care about the students' well-being. Therefore, in the Wellbeing Center, you can see that we are divided with my help. We got my community, my safety, and my future. Students will be able to find suitable and official information on these topics. Students can also book a one-to-one session to discuss with our consultants to support on their own problem. I mentioned society as well. So we have the chill out zone in the Nisai Virtual Academy. Students can find more than 20 clubs in the chill out zone. It is a friendly area and they can join as many as they want. Each club is supervised by our customer and student support team, and we make sure all the content shared by students are nice and friendly. So if you're curious to know more about the Nisai Virtual Academy, please feel free to drop in a question with us at the Q&A session. Now, moving on from the NVA, how do our Nisai teachers teach? So you saw the platform. Now what happens during the live lesson happens? Well, here, our Nisai teachers are committed to supporting the students' successes and progress. We continuously strive and encourage academic progress by creating lessons which are innovative, interactive, and quality assured. All NISai teachers, we have a variety of students with very diverse backgrounds and educational needs. Our teachers do receive regular CPD, which includes special education needs and also safeguard training. I'm going to talk a little bit on the lesson delivery, the communication, and also how we support our students. As mentioned previously, we do want to employ the 21st century educational strategy to prepare the students for their future. We make sure that all the lessons will help them develop in their creativity, their collaboration skills, their critical thinking skills, and also communication skills. Here, we use technology for individualized learning. All the lessons are again delivered via an interactive online classroom with learning resources and tools available to the students to develop the critical thinking. Previously mentioned, again, all our students are assigned to a small group that studies at a similar pace and ability. This way that our students will be able to receive more individual attention and can have a history on effective communication with their teachers and peers. For courses that do have an exam board, we make sure that the course material, all the slides, assignments, and what topics are going to be covered in the live lessons, SOW, are carefully developed to meet the assessing criteria and the content. And where possible, we will include cross-curricular links, and also the UNESCO SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, are embedded in there. The teaching of the topics and the individual student progress are tracked via Nisai's innovative and bespoke computer systems. The teacher can easily see at a glance how the students are progressing. In communication, the technology we use assists the students to communicate effectively with their teachers. Students have various ways to communicate with the teachers. In the classroom, we have the public text chat, where everyone in the classroom can see all the messages. You can talk with your classmates in here, easy to have discussions. But let's say that you're not feeling that confident yet, or you need some individual support. The private text chat is available, and this is only between the individual student and the teacher. Microphone is also available for use. The student just needs to say, "Teacher, can I try using the microphone?" That is okay. Writing and drawing on the interactive whiteboard is also available. We've got interactive polls and quizzes. In Adobe Action, students can raise their hands. Let's say the students wants to give a round of applause to their fellow classmates who just presented. There is an applause button for them right there. And we also have the secure and private student email account, where they can contact the teacher and also their classmates and form tutor outside of the live lessons. I would like to remind that students can ask the teacher a question at any time in the live lesson. And if they need help outside, email is always available. To support our students, teachers access our systems to read about the individual student requirements. Teachers will use this information to help guide the support given to the students. They can make adaptations to the lessons, to their teaching. We can provide supportive web links, differentiated tasks. Let's say some students can see that, oh, this task is so easy. We'll try to stretch their knowledge a little bit more, maybe test to see how far they can go. But let's say another student feels that, oh, I need help with this. I don't understand what you're trying to say. Can you explain it another way? Our teachers can do that for you just fine. Students are also supported via the customer and student support team. Feedback is given during the live lessons and on assignments to help the student make progress. And we make sure that it's constructive feedback for the students. Every term, teachers would write individualized termly progress reports to each learner and provide feedback on their achievements and advice on how they can improve their subject knowledge and skills. So to summarize it up, what do you expect in a live lesson? A student-centered learning. The teacher will be there to guide the students and enable the students to be fully engaged in their lesson. Students can ask the questions that they feel can to help them understand the lesson a little bit more. If they're curious about something and is related to the lesson, teachers would be more than happy to answer that. It is structured yet personalized. In the live lesson, we do recap the prior knowledge, complete a starter activity. We also have progress checks that includes answering questions, open-ended and closed questions, differentiated tasks, as I mentioned before. And sometimes you can also add a little post-lesson challenge. These are all optional, but then it's designed to stretch the knowledge of the students or prepare them for the next lesson. Interactive tools are available there. We got confidence polls, we got timers, we got quizzes for the students. A smaller group size. Typically, our class would be a maximum of 15 students. Private chat is available for teacher-to-student interactions, available use of microphone when required, and safeguarding. There are no webcams. All the private chats are secured, and all the lessons are recorded. And before I forget to mention, let's say I want to rewind back on the lesson. That's why the lessons being recorded is very useful. You could just look back at the recording, access it through the NVA, and if you want to make your own notes or find the notes that the teachers were sharing, it's all in the course site. You can see all the lesson slides there and even some past assignments. And that is all from me. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Nadia, for your insightful overview of the virtual learning experience on the MBA. And we can all see that the MBA includes numerous intelligent tools that support student learning effectively and making the learning exciting. Once again, thank you, Nadia. And now I would like to invite our Miss Emily Pham, Customer and Student Support Team Manager, to discuss how Nisai supports students throughout their academic journey. Please welcome Miss Emily.
Thanks, Ms. Rosa. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And within my speech, I'd like to share with you guys about how our support team is supporting the student when they join Nisai Global School. Okay, so besides our teaching and learning department, who mainly deliver their lessons and check out the progressing of student, we also have our customer and student support team to take care of the Asian student. And we are responsible for the initial induction sessions when the student just joined Nisai. We also guiding the student throughout their learning journey and providing their continuous support afterward. And each student, when they decided to register a standard course at Nisai, they will be placed in a house system and with a house tutor. And like the house tutor, it will be similar to the homeroom teacher. And we will work closely with the student during their learning time at Nisai. So the house tutor will monitor the student learning progress. We will send the reminders or we communicate with their parents to ensure their well-being and academic success. So now let's move to our service for our student currently. So on the screen, there is 4 services that we can offer for the international student for this academic year. So first is learning support, exam support, university consulting, and we also have the extracurricular activities after school. So now let's move to the first part is about learning support. So about learning support for our student, the house tutor will have a weekly check email and the reminders for the student via our internal email for the new learning week at Nisai. And we will also provide some updates or information about school events or competitions, so the student will be aware of this. And regarding their attendance, we also process the absence request. So when student cannot join the class and ensure it will affect correctly to their attendance record. And of course, we also provide the one-on-one meeting with the student when they need any advice or suggestion from the house tutor. Talking about our exam support, as you know, for the IGCSE and A-level student, they will have the external exam, and those exams are the one of most important step for them who would like to achieve the qualifications. So normally their exam will last for about a month, and completing like 5 or 7 papers per month is a tough time for both student and parents. So especially for the online student who need to be advised and consult properly to help them stick with the timeline. And for international students, we will focus on personalized support to ensure that each of them can deal with the exam, not only about their knowledge, but also about the exam administration. So for the next academic year, we will support the student with their registration. Nisai student will sit in the British Council exam venue, and all the registration will be processed by GIÁO, our customer and student support team. Yeah. And besides, we also provide the exam workshop. At here, we will update the exam information and also like provide the Q&A section for all the students when they're preparing for the exam. Now, looking back to our exam result in 2023, we're happy to announce that for IGCSE, the pass rate is 100% with nearly 80% of good pass. And for the AS level exam in 2023, the pass rate is 100% and the good pass is around 60%. And we're happy to announce that our A-level exam result is the pass rate and good rate are also like 100%. Regarding the university consulting service from GIÁO, we will help the student with their university choices through our one-on-one sessions, as well as help them while preparing their application for the university entrance. And we also provide some webinar online occasionally. And I think that is also the good chance for the student to understand more about the university requirement and entrance requirement, and in the different countries and different university, they will have not really the same of the admission requirement. So I think the webinar and workshop for the student about the university choice is very important. And of course, talk about our extracurricular activities, which is known as a Skill Up program at Nisai. For the next academic year, we have numerous options for the student to consider their interested activities. First is about the chill out zone. I think Ms. Nadia already mentioned before, which is this is the forum, the online forum, which is include directly to our learning platform, where students can find like around 20 active online forum for them to communicate and find friends, discuss with friends in our NVA platform. And at the weekends, we also provide a live meeting for the student who would like to have more interaction with their peers. So recently, we provide like youth success session, where this is like a learning series for students to learn about the study skill and soft skills. We also have talk fest session for students to discuss and practice English, like speaking English, and our topics also like related to the SDG from UNESCO. We also have the learning group UPass, where our students in lower secondary can learn from their peer as well as our mentor to enhance their knowledge about math and science. And finally, we also have like some interaction club like innovation, public speaking, or English speaking club for the student. And for all students who would like to join our live meetings, they will need to register in advance. So it will have it will help our staff to be able to prepare the enough like material and activities for all the club member. And about the latest activities and updates, we will inform parents and students via email at the beginning of the next academic year. I think that is all about the service we have for our students, but how about our customer or our parents? We also have some service for parents currently, which is shown on the screen. Firstly, we have customer portal, where parents can keep track of their children's progress. They can access all the reports from school, like attendance, assignment, and end of term report. And our parents can also receive the non-attendant email alert when the student is not present in class. And we also offer the parent meeting, where house tutor can discuss with the parents about student progress or any reminders or any escalation. And last but not least, our house tutor will inform and keep contacting with parents regularly about the student progress. So parents do not need to wait until the meeting with us, but they are already being informed properly about their children's study at Nisai. Yeah, so I think that is all of my presentation about how Nisai supports the student and our customer. I hope it's helpful for you, and I hope you already have more understanding about our service at Nisai. Once again, thank you and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Emily, for your explanation regarding Nisai student support. And it's important for parents to be aware that all the information about students' learning is kept up to date, and that immediate support is always available from the Nisai support team. Once again, thank you, Emily. Now, before moving to the Q&A section, please take a moment to enjoy a video prepared by Nisai team. Thank you for watching, and now we will move to the Q&A section to provide further clarification on Nisai learning program, as well as our support available towards student learning. Parents and students, please feel free to ask questions in the chat box, and kindly ensure your Zoom display names are updated to your real names for better communication and discussion with our speakers. Thank you. For the first question we received from our participant today, I would like to invite Mr. Rob. Mr. Rob, are you here now? Yeah. For the first question is, can you please explain more about retaking the test? What are the requirements and any additional fees?
Okay, good question. Thanks very much for asking it. So you can take the exams in traditional way and take them at the end of the course. With our international A levels, that's very rarely the way that it works, because everyone finds so many benefits in taking them across different series. So each exam has its own unit fee, and you build up each unit, paying as you go for each exam until you get to the end. What it does mean that's different from linear exams is that you only pay, if you need to do a retake, you only pay for the retake of that unit rather than needing to retake the whole exam. So there is that unit fee, which is similar for each component of the exam, and you pay as you go. If you want to retake a unit, then that's how you pay extra. For international GCSEs, there's only the option of modular. For international A levels, that's the structure, that's the way it's done. For international GCSEs, you can either take both papers together. There are always pretty much 2 papers for international GCSE. And so the norm is taking the 2 papers together at the end of the 2-year course. The new innovation is that you can do the same as for international A-levels and split them up. Sometimes people are concerned about whether you're ready to do all of the both of the papers in different sessions, which means typically taking one a little earlier. But the counterbalance to that is at the end of a 2-year course, you often find yourself spending a lot of time revising content that was done maybe 18 months ago. So this allows you to assess closer to teaching time. So it's a conversation between the school, the parent, and the student as to which is the best formula for them. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rowe, for your clarification and detailed information about retaking the test. And I hope this help parents and students to know more about the requirement and additional fees for each test. So the second question, I would like to invite Mr. David. Hello, Mr. David. Do you offer bachelor's degree?
So we don't offer a bachelor's degree, but what we do is we provide the pathway through the international curriculum, through the A-level route for students to be able to apply to university to take on those bachelor's degrees, whether it be at local universities or, as Rob pointed out earlier on, that access to international universities and overseas universities.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. David. And with the next question, I would like to invite Miss Emily. Hello, Miss Emily. If we join Nisai, does it include the exam from Pearson? And so the student can do the examination registered through Nisai?
Yes, as I mentioned before, we provide the exam support service. So whenever they reach the exam, we will in charge of the exam registration for the student. So the student will not really worry about that. So when we are aware of the exam due date, so we will inform parents about the register deadline as well and kindly support them during the exam period.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. If parents and students would like to know more about the exam registration, please feel free to let your contact in the chat box below, and Nisai will contact you to consult more directly. The next question, I would like to invite Miss Nadia. Hello, Nadia. How much time on average should a student spend on deep learning outside of online classes with teachers?
Okay, so deep learning outside of classes. I saw this question. It says, considering that students already attend traditional school at least half the day, how much additional time should they allocate without causing burnout? Well, this is based on my understanding and my recommendation. Rest is just as important for the student. So when they are going to be allocating some time, for example, I would imagine the time outside of class would be for a little bit on revision and also for completing the assignments. Teachers would always put down a recommended amount of time for their assignments. Usually our assignments tend to go for like half an hour to 60 minutes. And assignments can be delivered either weekly or bi-weekly per subject. So I would imagine that if the student wants to spend more time for their studies, it would be about maybe another hour would be okay. But just as that, we are quite mindful on the students' well-being. So we do encourage our students not to burn themselves out. And please definitely your rest is very important. We have had some students who have expressed that, oh, I just came back from school and they feel a bit tired. Our teachers are understanding. You just need to say that to our teachers. You can say that to the teams. That yeah, we can understand. Just thank you for participating in the classroom. And also recordings are always available. So if student wants to go back, look back at the live lesson that maybe they weren't fully able to engage on it, it's always available for them. So yes, do spend a little bit more time, like a little bit, maybe an hour or so, for you to catch up, just to revise on your learning, but make sure to rest as well.
Yes, thank you, Nadia, for your thoughtful response. And one more question for you is that, considering that student already attend traditional school for at least a half of the day, how much additional time should they allocate the NISai program for effective learning causing burnout?
So to continue on my previous one, I would say about just a half an hour to maybe another hour per day. You can do it. What I can also suggest is what some of our teachers do, and also with the class team, we help with like note taking as well and provide some support for the students outside of that. And the students, and what you can do, any sort of skills, the students can utilize that time for additional learning too. A little bit of revision is good. I know that you can sometimes, most of the time, students take more than one subject. They can take up to 3 subjects minimum, sometimes 5 subjects. So make sure that maybe on Monday, I want to revise a little bit on English. And on Tuesday, I want to revise a little bit on science, and just have a little rotation is there. But 30 minutes to half an hour to 1 hour per day. This is my own recommendation, and what I can see with our students is okay, but don't do all 5 subjects. Just rotate on what subjects you would like to revise on.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Nadia, for your advice. And the
Most
next
welcome.
question, I would like to invite both David and Nadia for this question about our program. From September, we will able to take classes at Excel. And am I correct in understanding that Nisai class system will remain the same?
Yep. So we've got the single sciences being introduced from September. The plan and intention is to extend the Pearson EdXL curriculum offer far wider across our offering across the school. In terms of the way we teach it and the way the lessons are, there will be no change whatsoever. We know that Nadia is probably better off, but better speaking about this than I am. But we know that the short lessons support our students better. We know that the spreading out of those lessons across the week creates greater outcomes. And as Nadia said, it achieves outcomes without putting the pressure and the stress on the student, because we are very, very aware that many students are doing school and doing school locally. But yeah, we know what works for our students. So the introduction of new and exciting programs won't change the way in which we deliver it.
Oh, absolutely. It's what David has said. And I think what we forgot to mention, maybe I missed it, was usually our lessons are only half an hour. And if there's going to be any sort of intensive courses, like if you're going into A levels, for example, then it will be like 1 hour lesson, but usually no more than 1 hour. We do know time is very important for everyone and also for the students.
Yeah. Thank you, David and Nadia, for your explanation. And the next question is about Pearson itself. For Ro, for Pearson Excel, what are the minimum subjects to take and passing grade to be able to get accepted into university?
Okay, so it's A levels that get you into university. The international GCSEs are a broad range. Normally, as I say, people take between, let's say, 5 and 10 subjects, but they create a kind of a background picture as to your broad educational grounding. It's the A levels that get you into university, and at A level, under the UK and international UK system, you narrow down to your best or your chosen subjects. So it's unlike some other systems which keep the focus broad right to the end of schooling. One of the things that actually helps students when they select their A levels is that they're able to present their grades in their best subjects. So normally students take between 2 and 4 A levels. So you're choosing your 2 to 4 best subjects. Normally, most students take 3, and you select them with an eye to the subjects that you want to take at university. Now, universities take quite a broad view. It's not because you've taken English, history, and mathematics that you need to direct yourself in any of those one career paths or university education or higher education pathways. They're looking for evidence of good general academic skills. And to that extent, they're quite broad-minded about focusing on the skills and the grades rather than the specific subjects. But of course, if you want to go into some specific areas like medicine, engineering, subjects that require more specific technical skills, then of course you've got a much better head start in getting onto those university courses if you've been preparing science subjects. And vice versa, if you're looking to an education in humanities or choosing subjects like economics and business if you want to go into political science or social sciences. So you make an informed selection, but then universities look harder and hardest at your grades, which are from A star to G under the UK system, and at the range of subjects. So you're making a broad choice when you choose your A levels, but you're focusing on what you do best and already thinking about what will give you the best step up to university study.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. So one more question for you is that it is true that international GCSE qualification can be accepted to the foundation course of some universities?
Yes, that's right. That whilst university A levels get you direct access into the university system, there are a large number of universities that will accept students on the basis of a good range of international GCSEs, not straight onto their bachelor's course, but as an accelerated foundation course. So that is absolutely true. And that's why international GCSEs are valuable in their own right, as well as showing a background that complements the more narrow but more focused, detailed study at international A level.
Yeah. Thank you, Rob, for your clarification about international GCSE and A-level qualification. The next question I would like to invite Miss Emily. Hello, Miss Emily. What kind of technical support is available to students who might encounter issues with the virtual learning platform?
Yes, I see that sometimes when students join the class online, they might face some technical issues. So we will have an easier cast member who always stand by during the student learning time. And the student can come to us if they have any issues, especially they cannot log into the class or any issue with their learning device. They can contact us and we will provide them the properly instruction. And besides, we also have our IT support team. They also available to support the student if they face any issue with the device or software updates issues. They can contact both IT support team and Asia Cast team right from their NVA accounts when they have any issue with about technical.
Yeah, thank you, Emily, for providing the support for parents concerned. The next question, I would like to invite David for interesting question from our participant is that, do you offer partnership and curriculum design to school?
Absolutely. So our work with schools is very much done on a collaborative basis and on a complementary basis. So we work with schools to bring in, depending on the need, we'll work with some schools whereby national curriculum, local curriculum is delivered in the morning, we'll deliver international in the afternoon. We have worked with schools where if there is a specific focus, especially with international schools, on inclusivity and supporting learners with learning difference or special education needs, we've had learning zones set up in those schools. In terms of the curriculum piece, it's a consideration that we have and that we've worked with schools before on, although we primarily do the delivery and the teaching ourselves, but our experience with schools actually goes beyond just the international curriculum piece. It also brings in teacher training, school improvement. There's various aspects which will come through. So I'd be very happy to have a separate conversation around that, because as our students are all individuals and have their own personal needs, I know that schools will have their own requirements and needs. So we could have that offline and have a separate conversation about that, or depending on where the school's based. And we've obviously got the local teams across Southeast Asia, if that's where the school is, who can speak firsthand about it.
Yeah, thank you, David, for your detailed information. And participant, if you would like to know more about partnership and curriculum design to each school, please feel free to comment your email below, and David and our team will directly email to you to know more about our potential partnership and curriculum. The next question, I would like to invite Miss Emily. We have two more questions for you. Is that, are the one counseling section with a student concerning their well-being disclosed to parents? And how does NISA support students' social and emotional well-being in a virtual context?
Okay, about the first questions, regarding like any meetings or any counseling sessions with the student, our house tutor will consult with both parents and students regarding about our booking time, about our discussion topics, and of course about the discussions. We also need to inform like update our teachers after that about the student situation. So all parties who involved in the student learning experience are all aware of the like student like well-being, or they need any support during their class time. So yeah, both parents and teachers, and as well as the support teams, will try to provide the suitable assist after that for the student. And regarding the second questions, yeah, I understand that the parents are always worried about how students, when they learn online, they should have a safety environments. So from outside, from customer support team, as I mentioned in my presentation, we offer the one-on-one session with students. We can listen from them or give some advice, or maybe sometimes the student come to us just because they need someone to listen to them. And yeah, and of course, after that, we will keep contacting with the student internally to ensure that they are okay, or they need any assistance from us more, or any assistance from the teachers. Even like they can email to the teachers if they have any difficulties regarding their learning as well. And as I mentioned, parents will also be informed overall about the well-being of the student when they're learning at Nisai. So yeah, I think like both student support team and teachers will try our best to support the student when they learning, and also join some like extracurricular activities with us at Nisai.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. So Miss Nadia, would you like to add more to Emily about social and emotional well-being support for our student in a virtual context?
Yeah, of course. So let's say in the live lesson, this is where the student information is very invaluable to us, because our teachers would adjust the live lessons based according to what our student needs. If we know that a student feels uncomfortable about a certain topic, or they may have prior experiences which makes them feel uncomfortable, or they feel scared, if this is too distracting for the student, we will do our best to actually not talk too much about it. We will, because in our lessons, we are focused on delivering the knowledge and the skills for the students. And we would actually adjust it in a way where the skills and the knowledge are still delivered, but not in the typical sense for the students. Students are always more than welcome to even tell the teacher in the live lesson, say, teacher, I don't feel comfortable about this topic. Our teacher will immediately pick it up and we will adjust it. Or if something is happening, we will relay the information to the relevant people. In terms of safeguarding, we would relay it to our safeguarding lead, and immediately we do want to check up on our students. That's where the form tutors will also come in with the weekly email checkups. They say, hey, how are you doing? I noticed that your attendance is like this. Is everything okay? Or you do have some assignments that are coming up. If you need help, please feel free to ask the form tutor or ask the teacher. We in our teachers, we not only support the students in the classroom, but also outside the classroom too. And hope that helps and answers the question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Nadia and Emily, for your information about our personalized support for our students to ensure an inclusive learning environment for all. The next question, I would like to invite Mr. Rowe. Which subjects will be online for the Edexcel International GCSE and A-level exams?
So there are two aspects to that question. So first of all, there's the on-screen rather than online. So on-screen exams are available in 9 subjects, 7 at international GCSE and 2 at international A-level. And as I said, they're the more text-based subjects. But on-screen itself doesn't mean online. You can download the paper and then upload it again at the end of the exam. But in that context, the exam is taken in an exam room in invigilated conditions. The big difference is if you choose to go for the remotely invigilated exams, which then are purely online and taken from home, or for example, in the case of a student that took their exams last year, they were a talented junior motor racing champion and took all of their international GCSEs from the team truck. So as long as the space corresponds to our needs with regard to the requirements for remote invigilation, then it will be accepted. Those exams are available for pretty much every subject. So the only subjects that aren't available to be taken on the remote invigilation protocol are those that are coursework based rather than exam paper based. Anything else, whether it's a paper written exam or an on-screen exam, can be remote invigilated. And those are invigilated live by Pearson invigilators with some technical requirements with regard to camera setup in the room. But where we work with schools to onboard parents and students for remote invigilation, we spend plenty of time working up to the exam day, so that when exam day comes and the student takes an exam by remote invigilation, they're thoroughly prepared. So we work together with the school and parents on that. But it's really exciting, and it offers access to exams for all sorts of students that either because of special educational needs or because of geographical location or a range of other reasons are much better off taking their exams at home. And we've had fantastic feedback, including from parents who said, my daughter would not have been able to take a single GCSE because of her special needs. She now has 8 great grades at GCSE. So that's proof that it wasn't her intelligence that was being evaluated, but her ability to perform in a traditional exam room. And that's exactly the sort of situation that we're trying to overturn in order to offer equity to every student based purely on their ability rather than on the context in which they take the exams. I hope that's a sufficient answer to the question.
Thank you, Rob, for your guidance and information. The next question, I would like to invite David about pathway at Nisai and subjects as well. When students join Nisai, do they need to decide which subjects choose the subject with Pearson and or Cambridge examination as the subject, and the lesson might difference?
So, when it comes to curriculum, so we have, first off, we don't put a minimum number of subjects as a requirement to join Nisai. So we have some students who will be doing 5, maybe 6 subjects. We have others who will do 1, maybe 2, which then means that if they are doing local curriculum as well, then they're not overloading. Again, it will really depend on the subjects. For this year, will very much depend on the subjects as to which awarding body it goes down and goes with. We are, as I say, we're starting off with the separate sciences, which we're really excited about with Pearson and Excel. We will be looking to then extend those qualifications and those subjects with Pearson for the 2025, I can't believe I'm saying it, but 2025-26 academic years. So there'll be more coming in from there. I think that the key bit around the curriculum and the pathways, it's personal to the individual. That's why you can't just log onto a website and choose the subjects you want. We work with parents and with schools to discuss the packages and the availability of subjects each time. So yeah, the pathway is there. It is recognized, but I think that the best advice I can give is to make contact with our team in Vietnam and the wider Asia region if there are specific requirements.
Thank you, David, for your answer. And one more question for you, David. Is there a IGCSE and International A level in environmental management?
Yep, I believe that's on the course list for 2025. Sorry, 2024-25. For anyone who's interested in the offer and the courses and curriculum which we are providing for the next academic year, we do have an international course list with everything broken down, everything from the booster and English language proficiency programs, which I talked about at sort of primary school level, and sort of a lower English level right through, and that course list also provides information on the awarding body, a bit of an overview as to what each subject's about. So for instance, we'll do the standard sciences, so your chemistry, physics, biology, but I know the environmental one is almost seen as a fourth science. So yeah, it will be in there.
Yeah, thank you, David, for your detailed information about Nisai pathway and as well as subject at Nisai. The next question and also the last question for our section today, I would like to invite Mr. Rob. Mr. Are you here? Yeah. So, what support system are in place for students following the Pearson program and taking exams at NISAI?
So there's a huge range of support. A lot of it we provide via the partner, because the direct interlocutor with every student and every family is the school. So a lot of the support that we provide is unseen directly, but transmitted by the school. So some of it is directly accessible, things like in-depth, fantastic course book and ebook preparations for each subject. And we get directly involved in onboarding students together with our school partner for things like the on-screen exams and the remote invigilation. We also have student and parent guides to our international GCSE and international A-level suites. And of course, a whole range of mock exam papers and indications and examiner reports to show how to perform best in answering questions at the exam, and a huge wealth of web resources for both teachers and students. But we also support the school that we work with to make sure that their exam entries are made as early and as accurately as possible, to ensure that any access arrangements that a student might need are properly recognized. So we receive the dossiers, we analyze them, and we will frequently give additional time, for instance, to a student by looking at an individualized solution to a specific situation. We offer access to subject experts, once again, frequently to the school and to teachers, but that service is available to parents too, in order to understand some detailed texture about individual subjects. And then after the exams are taken, we have a fantastic tool called Results Plus, which gives post-results data, breakdowns of performance between for individual questions, benchmarking of each cohort of students against the regional and the global average scores and marks for each exam, and access to the student's scripts. So if you want to go back, look again, I mean, most people just want to throw away their exam papers and never think of them again. But if, for instance, a family is looking to make an appeal to see if they should have the grade upgraded, then you have all the evidence available to be able to check where there could be any errors in the marking, although I have to say we are the regulated exam board with the highest accuracy in our marking. And so we support in this whole range of ways, directly and indirectly, our learners and families, and also, of course, the teachers and the institutions.
Thank you, Rob, for your information about the support. And the detailed answer from Rob also brings us to the end of the NISAI Open Day today. We hope that the given information delivered by our dedicated speakers are provided with you with a clearer understanding of our programs and the values that NISAI offers to support students in achieving their learning goals. A special thanks to our esteemed guest speaker today for your valuable contribution and for addressing the questions from parents and students. And we also would like to extend our gratitude to each of you for participating in today's event. Wishing you all a wonderful weekend ahead. Goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you again at the next event.
NGÄY Global School is the first fully interactive online British secondary school that delivers quality-assured home education for pupils aged 8 to 18 globally. NGÄY Global School offers a complete pathway of education online. We provide everything that you would expect to find in a traditional school, from subject lessons, homework and assignments, to houses, clubs, and even end-of-term reports. Being recognized as an international school, the curriculum of NGÄY Global School is adapted from the NISai Virtual Academy with subjects from Cambridge International Curriculum and Pearson International Curriculum, leading to Cambridge IGCSE, Pearson Edexcel International GCSE and A-level qualifications.